So now I'm going to show you guys the clip here. Okay.
Been following the U.S. Senate race in Michigan, and you had Abdul El Sayed did a phenomenal job in the debate against Haley Stevens, and the online poll that they did after that debate showed that Abdul won pretty handily. But one of the things that's concerning now, Abdul has been up double digits in most polls I've seen. Maybe there's a handful of like push polls that have them roughly tied, but in most of the polls I've seen him up double digits. But the only concerning thing I see is that the Haley Stevens campaign has resorted to a trick, which in my opinion should be illegal, but they're doing it anyway. And that trick is like pretending that Obama endorsed her when he didn't. Sending out these mailers that have like a quote from Obama about how she had some position in his administration that did something that he probably doesn't even fucking remember her working for them, and oh yeah, she did a great job doing that or whatever. And so now you have some older black voters in Michigan who've spoken to the media and they go, oh yeah, we're voting for Stevens because Obama endorsed her. And again, he didn't do that. But this is like the dirty trick that they're reduced to in order to try to get across the finish line. Whereas Abdul is, pounding the pavement, pushing home the policies, running an ethical campaign, right? So that's the one thing that's sort of scaring me. But the fact of the matter is, Haley Stevens was really tarred with this idea, this notion that, listen, you're just taking a tremendous amount of money from AIPAC. And Democrats don't like that. In fact, Democrats fucking hate that. And you need to own the fact that you're representing a special interest group that our base despises in the same way that they despise the military industrial complex, in the same way they despise Wall Street, perhaps even more so than those lobbies, right? And so that has landed 1,000 times over. Well, the people over at the Bulwark decided to commission basically this focus group of Democrats to ask them what they think of AIPAC. And the results here are amazing. Now, you also have Tommy Vietor of the Pod Save podcast here, and I don't know, they're both a little taken aback by just how clear Democratic voters are in their feelings on AIPAC. Listen to this.
AIPAC, which is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, it's gotten thrown around as a litmus test in many Democratic primaries, usually by more progressive challengers. Let's listen to some of the word associations we heard when you hear AIPAC.
Genocide, extremists.
I'm thinking extortion.
Genocide, extremists, and extortion.
Yep.
When they did a word
100%
association
agree.
game with AIPAC. Think about how AIPAC has worked overtime to try to soften their image, try to make it seem like, oh, we're just a lobby like anybody else is a lobby. This is about freedom. This is about, trying to keep our relationship with Israel strong. Look at the reaction. Genocide, extremist, extortion when you bring up AIPAC. People are sick of their shit. They are sick of their shit. Oh my days.
Associations we heard when you hear AIPAC.
Genocide, extremists.
I'm thinking extortion.
There's a site on the internet called AIPAC Tracker, where you can find out how much money people have taken from AIPAC and other Israeli sources. And Haley Stevens has taken damn near the most money of anybody in the country. So she is right out for me.
I want to definitely make the point that I'm not saying that, oh, if this candidate takes money from Jewish groups, I'm not going, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying AIPAC specifically.
What you're hearing there is concern about U.S. policy towards Israel, but also that AIPAC has kind of become synonymous with dark money spending that distorts our politics and makes the U.S. government do things that are not in our best interests.
It's insane that they're not registered as a foreign agent, bro. It's insane that they're not registered as a foreign agent. I mean, let's not get it twisted. What AIPAC really is it's a representative of the Israeli government. And, they try to lie, oh, well, it's really just American Israelis. No, if it was actually representative of American Israelis, it would be much more anti-Netanyahu, much more anti-ethno-state Israeli government. It would be in favor of a democratic Israel. Because American Jews are very anti-Netanyahu, they're very anti-genocide, they're much more liberal and left-leaning. And so you can't say, oh, this just represents American Jews or American Israelis. It doesn't. It represents a far-right MAGA pro-genocide worldview. That's just a fact. They try to whine and cope and bitch and moan, but this is why they have the new trick that they've used, where instead of AIPAC directly giving money, they give money to these shell companies or these shell groups, and then the shell groups give money to the politicians that they like, and they mask it behind other issues. They'll have oh, this is a woman's group, and you go and trace the funding, and no, it goes right back to AIPAC. So they lie. They also have run ads in places where the ads have nothing to do with Israel, where they mask it behind other issues. They try to like attack Democrats for, oh, you weren't sufficiently loyal to, Build Back Better or Biden's policies or whatever. This is what they do. They come up with all these like gross tricks to try to fool you and convince you, no, we're the good guys. And people are sick of it. People are sick of it. I mean, I think this money should be fucking banned in U.S. politics. But at the very least, they should register as a foreign agent. That's at the very fucking least. If it was Saudi money that was used like this, or fucking Turkish money, or Iranian money, there would be no tolerance for this. None. Zero.
No.
But since it's Israel, it's like, well, they're our allies, so it's okay. Oh, is it? They're also committing a fucking genocide, shooting children in the face. I don't know. I kind of want to get that out of our system. How about you?
That AIPAC has kind of become synonymous with dark money spending that distorts our politics and makes the U.S. government do things that are not in our best interests. And so again, like I'm with you in that I am uncomfortable with the level of emphasis you're hearing about AIPAC. I think they have gone from building ties between the U.S. and Israel to just trying to push like whatever Bibi Netanyahu wants as policy and demand that lawmakers follow suit. When we hear words like extortion, I think that's wildly overstated, and I think it can play into anti-Semitic tropes.
You have got to be kidding me, Tommy Beater. You have got to be kidding me. You did a word association
Disagree.
game, and Democratic voters were asked what they thought of AIPAC. And their reaction is words that are perfectly reasonable and understandable and pretty objectively descriptive. And that's your reaction? That's your reaction? So are Democratic voters just anti-Semites? Is that what it is? I mean, it's come on, man. And I like Tommy. He's been on the show. He oftentimes has good commentary. But I'm sorry. We gotta stop this. We gotta stop this. We gotta wake up. We gotta stop with this nonsense. Like, the fact of the matter is, American voters, Democratic voters, are furious at Israel because we gave them so much money and so many weapons, and they've used them to commit war crime after war crime and do ethnic cleansing and genocide. And we sit here and watch that, and it's like, why are we giving money for that? Why are we giving weapons for that? Like, we can't even have universal health care in this country or free child care in this country, but we have money to give to psychos in the IDF who shoot people in the face, who starve people to death, who have grape as a matter of policy, as a matter of systemic course in the detention camps in Israel. Like, this is a sick joke. So I don't know. It's good that the Democratic voters are not being politically correct about this, not being overly sensitive about this. They're just saying what they think, and what they think happens to be correct. The other thing is, and this is sort of like the death knell for pro-Israel politics in the Democratic Party, is that now Israel as such is viewed not just as genocidal, but also like just MAGA, right? Like, when you look at the poll numbers for support for the war against Iran, it's the overwhelming majority of Israelis support the war against Iran. It's only like 25 or 30% of Americans that support the war against Iran. Like, when you look at the polling data for do they support Trump, it's through the fucking roof. And so not only are they genocidal and massive warmongers, they're also just MAGA. Like, it's a MAGA country. It just is. And so you can't really be a leftist or even a liberal and be like, oh yeah, I love that place. Oh, you mean the place with psychotic warmongers who kill innocent people and love the fucking fascists running the U.S. into the ground? You mean that place? It's not tenable. It doesn't work anymore. But I love how Democratic voters have now totally woken up. And it's time for our pundit class and the commentators to follow suit.
Finally.
Because, there's no salvaging this. I honestly, I don't know what else Israel could have done to say we're the villains. I don't know what else they could have done. They've done quite literally everything. Like, I don't know when they posted this, was this before or after Ro Khanna was held at gunpoint by psycho-Israeli settlers and backed up by the IDF? Like, I don't know. It's sort of tone deaf the same week that a U.S. Democratic congressperson was basically abducted by the IDF and psycho settlers and not allowed to go to the West Bank. It's kind of a weird time to do this is too close to anti-Semitism when talking about AIPAC. By the way, AIPAC's immediately out there to also go after Ro Khanna for telling the truth about the West Bank. Should tell you quite a bit again. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps